Good morning. How you doing today? Hope you're doing well. I want to share something that all of us have. Weaknesses. Yep, we all do. Yeah, I'm picking this up from Bob Goff. In 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 10 and 11, the Apostle Paul says, "For Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses." What? "In insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong." Bob talks about mythology, and I'm Greek, but I'm not really into Greek mythology. And he says part of the reason he isn't either, although he's going to talk about one character, is because some of the names are really, really hard to pronounce, and rather just kind of talk about Jesus because it's the myths aren't really true. But there is a modicum of truth to this one. There's a guy by the name of Achilles. Yeah. He was the offspring of a bunch of hard to pronounce, hard to remember other characters. When he was an infant, someone said he would die, so his mother dipped him in the river that would make him undefeatable. But when she dipped him, she had to hold on to part of him, and she slipped him into the water. She was supposedly holding on to his heel, so the water never got to that part of the body. Well, you talk about foreshadowing. You know it's coming. So he'd grow up to fight in many battles, and true to the promise, he never died. But eventually, he took a shot in the ankle, which was unprotected, and he's defeated. And that's why we call it your Achilles heel. So the reality is that Paul says, when I'm weak, then I am strong. Now, he's not just playing with words. There's something profound there. The reality, though, is that all of us have an Achilles heel. You do. I do. Everybody has them. And they don't come our way because our mom did something like dipped us in Lake Michigan or something and had her hand on one part of our body. No, they come to us because we're human beings and we all have weaknesses. But the Apostle Paul came to understand that it was often through his weaknesses, not his strengths, that other people really got to see Jesus in his life. Bob Goff says we are not an advertisement for Jesus. We are evidence of him. And we do this best in our weaknesses, not in our strengths. Now, the Bible also says that might be the only epistle, the only letter that somebody else might read. And that's totally true. But it doesn't mean that we have to be infallible. Often when we come across to other people like, "I am infallible, I have all the answers," they usually don't want to hear it. When I was younger, I thought I was a lot smarter than I am now. But people didn't want to know what I thought I knew then. I find it very interesting that now there's a lot of things I know that I don't know. People seem much more interested in what I have to say. It's kind of interesting how that works out, isn't it? I think of the Apostle Peter, and I love the Apostle Peter. And I love that his gospel, the gospel according to Mark, which I believe he got almost entirely from Peter, records so many shortcomings of Peter's, that the guy who was the leader of the first century church, the first leader of the whole thing, was replete with foibles and flaws and mistakes. And you know what? When the gospel was written, he might have already been dead. You think they would have venerated him and made him look like he was perfect like we do at funerals? But I'm sure that Peter told Mark, no, record all of that, because when I am weak, then he is strong. I hope this speaks to you today. God bless you. Have a great week.